Hey KB,
How's it going?
it's good to see you. I love it when you
Good to see
visit.
you.
Is this a visit or is it more than a visit?
I think today it's a little bit more than a visit.
I think so too. We Gusto Guideline Gusto. We are going to be combining teams with the goal of serving more small businesses and delivering more value around retirement in their lives.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. The team's incredibly excited. I cannot wait to go build what's next with you all. I think we have an amazing opportunity in front of us. I could not be happier and more excited to go do this with you, Josh.
I'm Josh. I'm the head of Gusto,
I'm Kevin Busque, CEO and co-founder of Guideline.
and I'm excited. We're going to be spending some time together talking about what Gusto and Guideline together could mean.
I'm excited for it.
I feel like we have
Let's
to
get
go
into it.
back though, way back. So Gusto, we started back in 2011. So this is 14 years ago. There was that kind of phase where we were in like a loft. No one lived there, but then we had to get our first proper office. And our first proper office was the sixth floor of 425 2nd Street.
Yep.
And I feel like there's some connection here.
Absolutely. That's where we first met. In my previous life, I was at TaskRabbit, and we were 425 2nd Street, second floor.
So same building. You remember how slow that elevator was?
So slow, so painful. Actually, going to lunch was just a process.
It was a bonding experience.
Yeah,
You'd have a
sure.
chance for an extended conversation
Yep,
in
absolutely.
the elevator because the
Yep.
building was quite old.
Yep,
But yeah, we've come a long way since then.
for sure. Absolutely.
When I think about founding and starting a business, I have a philosophy which I know you share, which is companies don't exist for the sake of it. We exist to go make something better, fix something, solve a problem. I'm happy to share, but I'd love to have you share first.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the catalyst? How did you become interested in this problem that led to Guideline?
It's just that. I saw this problem at my previous job, which was at TaskRabbit here in the city. We started out pretty small and grew to about 75 people. And in that process, we got a 401k. And in the end, it wasn't a great plan. So it kept coming up over and over. Some of the youngest folks in the office, me being more senior, mid 30s, I think at that point, came to me for advice, and I wasn't qualified to give them that advice. So that problem just over and over and over and over. And I really, when TaskRabbit was being acquired, I realized I was going to go solve this problem, and I was going to solve it the way that we solve problems as engineers, with software.
So that's where we have a common connection. I love meeting and working with second-time founders because I feel like there's just even more intentionality on what is the problem I want to dedicate maybe years, maybe decades, maybe even longer of my life towards. And yeah, for us, Gusto was founded by 3 founders. Each of us had had prior startups. That was a lot of our exposure. I had set up Payroll. I had set up health benefits.
That's right.
We were still too early, too small, and never got to the stage of setting up 401k in my last company. But yeah, it felt way too manual, way too paper-based, way too time-consuming, lots of compliance rules and requirements. And as a small business owner, startups are small businesses often when they start. There's a million things going on, and it's how do you make that stuff simpler?
Yeah, that's right. I think that mentality of we never got to that stage is over. I mean, we solved that with Guideline, and that's really what we set out to do.
Yeah.
So as the smallest company now, you can get a 401k, and it's quite honestly better than most of the big company 401k. So that was the problem. That was the intent of starting Guideline.
So one thing I've learned from our many conversations, there's kind of how these products show up at the surface layer, but often there's a lot more stuff behind the scenes, and you have to go really, really deep in the stack to really transform how it's done.
Yeah.
Maybe share a bit more on 401k and retirement more broadly, because I think people
Yeah.
probably don't get how complicated behind the scenes this industry is.
Yeah, absolutely. When I recognized this problem, going at it kind of in a traditional manner where you're solving for a user experience, to be able to do that and do that well, you have to start super low in the stack. And for us, that was called record keeping. Payroll data essentially drives what goes into record keeping at the start, how much you're contributing, pre-tax, post-tax, all of that stuff is defined in payroll, as you know. So for us, we needed to start there to deliver the best experience possible and make it turnkey for these small businesses that essentially wouldn't be able to offer a 401k if we didn't exist.
I'm sure folks, when they think about 401k in the past, thought of it being a hassle or a headache. Same, like payroll. When we started at Gusto, we talked with a lot of small business owners and they kind of wanted to pull their hair out, or it was super stressful or time consuming, or even health benefits, one of the other products that we offer. Same. And I always went back to first principles. You look at the building blocks, right? For payroll, it's literally people getting paid. People like to get paid, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty wonderful thing to be a part of. And on the employer side, it's a chance to show appreciation for someone's time and investment into the business they've been a part of. Health benefits, same kind of underlying building blocks. I mean, done right, when someone's kid gets sick, the parent knows their kid's okay, right? That's an incredible thing to be a part of.
That's right.
And so it was really this idea around how do we take all that complexity, abstract it. We talk about it being peace of mind, and then get these products back to what they were always supposed to be, which is really, really meaningful parts of people's lives. So I don't know if you want to add on like retirement.
Yeah.
Like I think of it as very, very similar in terms of like something that is meaningful, but also has a lot of baggage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the narrative, at least since Guideline has existed, has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Previously, 401k was a big company benefit. Only, Google, IBM, et cetera, had 401ks that were feature rich and complete and
Yeah.
could tell or could help you save for your actual future outside of Social Security. We definitely have changed that narrative, and going super deep was kind of the only way that we could do this. We always talk about taking hands out of the cookie jar, that cookie jar being your retirement savings. And for us, that was just starting super deep and delivering it through software. Everything that we did or do at Guideline is through software, and we make that very intentional for the small business owner, because these are surgery centers, dentists, law offices, pizza shops, cupcake factories, etc. They're not behind a desk all day. They're not managing compliance testing. They don't know what compliance testing may be or how it impacts their small business. So for us, we took this same route, right? Just like make it as easy as possible, hands off. But in doing that, you have to build trust. And like that's what we've done at Guideline, is just to do the hard things first. Make sure that all the stuff that you don't know about is actually included in the platform. Otherwise, it's just an education problem. And that's one that, we try to solve with notices and all that sort of thing. But quite honestly, they don't want to know about all that stuff. So for us, it was just a matter of building it all into the stack and making it turnkey.
So one thing I know we both care deeply about, you always start with the customer. You always start with the business owner, their employee. Both are really important stakeholders.
That's right.
Due North is serving them, delivering value, and both of our business models are the more value we give them, the more value we get. And the more of them we serve, the more value we get. And so I love that simplicity of our business models.
When you're offering a 401k, you're doing it for a reason, and that is for retirement outcomes. And I think this industry in particular has moved away from that. And they're like, we just want to offer a 401k. But why are you offering a 401k? What are all the things that go into offering a 401k? And why are you charging almost 2% annually to do that?
Yeah.
That goes against actually the retirement outcome of actually offering the 401k in the first place. And that was super important for us to realize, and also made that our core mission, is better retirement outcomes for all. So it doesn't matter if you're a small business or a big business, you can have an amazing 401k that's low fee. That's really about reducing the asset-based fees over time.
Yeah.
Plus all of the in-the-moment fees were really important. So hardship withdrawals, loans, these are times in your life and the employee's life where they're going through some stressor. You may not need to know what it is, but they're going through something, and then hit them with $100 fee to cash a check. That's a tough moment. So it's a bad experience. And we really wanted to just reduce all of that across the platform. And again, this is where, software comes into play. And that was super important to us to do that first.
So playing that back to you, I mean, if you can create a much, much more efficient back-end system, you lower your cost structure and you can basically pass on that cost savings to the customer and still build a good business, which you definitely have.
Yeah.
That to me is kind of a win-win-win outcome.
Yeah, we always look for the win-win-win. I think through and through, Guideline, even Guideline Gusto partnership has always been a win-win-win.
Yeah.
And that's really important to kind of how we have built the company over time.
So one of the things I think a lot about, to zoom out for a sec and also connect work we both do, in many ways, we're working and making government easier and simpler, whether it's compliance requirements. So for example, in payroll, there's tax calculations, tax payments, and filings. These are not why someone starts a business, but definitely if they don't do it correctly, it might be a reason why they are no longer in business. And so it's a very good example of something that we just try to take on, do for the customer, and let them focus then on things where they can have a bigger impact. But then there's a different whole category of government programs that are actually like really, really good intent programs. I think 401k is a great example. Things like, HSA is a good example. Things like tax credits, where literally programs are designed to help a company have more money back in their pocket to invest in their team or in their products. And there's this common thread to both, which is if you're a bigger company, you have the resources to figure out how to both be compliant or how to maximize the benefits of these programs for you. And if you're a small business, historically, you're just kind of on your own, like trying to figure it out in a very Herculean way.
That's right.
And the beautiful thing is, I know both of us are inspired by this. We can bring great software, great teams, an obsession with accuracy and quality to the table, but really just try to say, we're going to be your partner. We're going to be your opinionated partner. It's not a choose your own adventure. It's no, we're going to be effectively like a teammate and be your partner and help you either get the best tax credits or the best 401k plans, programs, or, do all that government compliance. And, one of my favorite emails we send our customers is, here's all the things you need to go do this quarter. We did it for you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right?
It's great.
So,
yeah, and you can do that when you have the data, and the payroll is where all the data comes from.
Yeah.
So absolutely being opinionated, but also using the data that you have to make logical and appropriate decisions along the way. And you can only do that with the data.
I think one of the really fun common threads to like what you and I clearly have dedicated a bunch of our life to and want to dedicate more of our life to is helping small business. And, I talk about it as leveling the playing field, right? Because historically, bigger companies have access to a lot more resources and programs and can optimize things in a lot more detail. I think you have your own authentic language for it as well. But the outcome is the same, right? How do we help small businesses, get superpowers and basically be able to, with the same time constraint, because they're obviously already working really hard. It's not about spend more or create more time. It's actually with what they're spending and with the time that they're investing, get a lot more outcome from that. And that's why we want to be their partner. I think one example of that that's interesting to me is with these programs, especially 401k, it's not just, what can you match or contribute as well? It's just get the tax benefit. So maybe expand upon that, because I'm sure there's a whole broad swath of companies that engage with you where it's, hey, I want to do this. I want to maximize, what the employee can get, and or maybe I'm not at the right time to go actually put more of my dollars at play.
That's right.
And that's a viable path, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of tax benefits for 401k, both for the small business owner. It helps reduce your payroll tax because a lot of the things that you use or pay for is pre-tax benefits, right? So that reduces your payroll tax. There are many reasons that the Guideline Gusto partnership is amazing, but I think the primary reason is we have that same kind of philosophy around getting small businesses, they don't know what they don't know, and being able to take advantage of that, but go do the thing. And that was super important for us. And I think we launched our partnership in 2016. And it was really interesting. And it's a deep integration that we have, and it's going to get even more exciting. But right now, it's so amazing because you can go through plan design. And then typically where you would have multiple people go and update payroll, make all the changes on an ongoing basis, we just do it automatically for you. So at the end of plan design, you say do the thing, and it goes and it does the thing. And that's the most amazing thing. And then you get all the benefits for all your employees that you ever bring on or terminate or transition. All of that stuff happens automatically for the small business. They don't have to think about it. And that's one of the most important things in our partnership.
It's like magic.
It's magic.
Yeah. No, I think back to that time period, we view Gusto as a small business platform, right? Our simplest, most pure due north is we want to grow the small business economy. We believe small businesses are good, they're impactful, they're important, they're valuable, they're meaningful parts of our community, and we want to give them as much as we possibly can to help them be successful. And that's not just the ones that exist today, helping them not just survive and thrive, but also all the new ones that have yet to be started.
That's right.
And so...
And you just made that really easy too.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of work there as well, so we can talk about other products and Gusto Solo, shout out.
Yep.
But But yeah, very specifically around when we kind of started working together, 2016, it was a no-brainer because we had customers at that point we had launched in 2012 who had their team, they had progressed a bit, or they were still two, three employees and never thought they could. And now all of a sudden they're like, hey, you mean I can set up a 401k and
Yeah.
it's not going to take, days or weeks, and their cost structure is really, really affordable and straightforward and transparent.
Yeah.
And I get, all of the same quality of investment choices as some of these bigger incumbent platforms. And it connects to Gusto, so I don't have to re-enter any of my data. And if I add someone to my team, it kind of gets automatically updated again, so I don't have to remember or have a calendar reminder. Like, this is incredible. And then we just saw it take off, right? We saw
Right.
folks start using it whenever they either asked or they just saw, hey, you mean I can now get a 401k from my team, even though I'm a two-person business?
Yeah.
And it was really special to see that happen.
Yeah, that was an exciting moment for us too. And that was like the aha moment for me. It's like, okay, this isn't about selling
Yeah.
401k. This is about enabling small businesses to turn it on. And that was super important for me to understand that early. And that was our focus, and that was our go-to-market motion from that point
Yeah.
forward, is making that as easy as possible, because there was so much demand and so much pent-up
Yeah.
demand for it. And I had done the research, but it's the second most requested benefit next to healthcare. So obviously, like, once you check the box on healthcare, you're looking
Yeah.
for what's next for your people, right? So that was really like, that was our aha moment.
And we launched health benefits in 2015. So there
There you
was a
go.
sequencing there of us
Yep.
listening to our
You
customer.
read the same data.
Yeah, I mean, and even today, it's always going to be us listening, learning from our customer. And there's just still a lot of things that make it hard to be a small business owner or be an employee at a small business. So we have a big roadmap ahead to go make that a lot easier and a lot better.
Josh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
flip the script on you for
Yeah,
a minute.
let's do it.
And just talk about why I think, Gusto Guideline together is going to be so amazing.
I'm excited.
One of the things that is so intriguing about Guideline and Gusto is the way that we've built our companies. And I think that's, I'd love to hear from you firsthand how intentional you were about that. And then I can talk a little bit about how it kind of lined up exactly with how I built Guideline. I would love to understand kind of how you built Gusto to be in a position that you are.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, KB. There's going to be a lot of similarities and parallels here. So Gusto started by three co-founders, all second-time entrepreneurs. We wanted to tackle a problem that was very real, very concrete, very mainstream. So even though we were in Silicon Valley, we were very eager to really be obsessed with helping others outside of Silicon Valley, frankly.
Yep.
And it be a big enough problem that it would take decades to really make a huge, huge impact. And like, our dream was we could spend the rest of our working lives, if we're solving a problem well, if we're delivering value, like, there would be the possibility that this is what we go do for a long, long time. And at that point, all that matters is actually building something useful. And so, we met with small businesses. We knew we were going to start with payroll. It's the least optional part of the stack. If you don't pay someone, they quit. And so, pretty
That's a good way to put it.
logical thing for everyone to do and need. And then we knew that there was a lot of pain and frustration with people doing it manually on paper and pen, spending lots of time, getting penalties or fines. And so, that was where we obsessed, was, hey, there is a problem here. We validated it by talking to lots of small businesses all over. Like, can we create something useful? And I can keep going down that path, but your question is more about the how. And for me, if we're going to spend decades doing something, it's not like it's a choice to think about the how. It's very logical to think about the how, right? Like, this is going to be something I'll be spending a long time on. So hiring our first teammate, like, what does that mean? It's not just we need, design work, let's hire a designer, or we need engineering work, we need, let's hire an engineer. This is like a fourth person joining our team, and a fifth person joining our team, and a sixth person joining our team. So the way we kind of broke that down was, we care a lot about values alignment. Values are not, things you'll see on our walls. To me, you either live your values or you don't. And we have very specific values at Gusto that derive from who we are as people. I don't believe people have personal and professional values that are opposed to each other. For example, at Gusto, we bring in people that are very kind, but also very competitive, right? Like, we're going to compete on the merits of being the best product, right? On being, the best user experience, being the most accurate and reliable partner to our customer. And even today, with adding over 150,000 customers this year, word of mouth, people loving the product and telling others, this is incredible. I'm going to, use it, keep using it, and you should use it too. It's not just a good thing to do. It drives the business, right? Like in small business land, you have to deliver something that's incredible, useful, helpful to get that organic flywheel going. So,
That's right.
kind, competitive is one of the tensions I think of where it's a false binary. Like people can be incredibly competitive and kind at the same time, especially in how you treat your customer. Another one I think a lot about is being really ambitious. We want to go serve hundreds of millions of small businesses and billions of people around the world. Like there's that opportunity and that need for what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
But like we're also going to have humility along the way and realize we're not going to be perfect. We're going to learn, we're going to iterate, and we're going to focus not on our ego and how that benefits us. We're going to focus on the customer because that is why we exist.
Yeah, that lines up exactly with kind of how I built Guideline as well. We're not doing things that aren't sustainable for small businesses. And I think that's really important because we need to be here. We're talking about retirement. We're talking about 20, 30 years down the road. This product needs to exist over that time span. And it's really important to kind of
Yeah.
get out, have the velocity to get out of that hype train, get out of those cycles, and be here for small businesses in the long run because they are 20 or 30 year companies, right? So like
Yeah.
that's very important. It gets passed down to their children and et cetera. So that was super intentional at Guideline to be able to do that. And I just thought it lined up so well with Gusto and kind of how you build Gusto as well.
So when I think about like what do I want today, if someone asked like Gusto, what is Gusto from a philosophy and kind of approach lens? Because our product and what we do for our customers should hopefully be very clear. I would say for me, and this is something we constantly aspire to live into. It's a business where we deliver something very useful. We do it in a way we're proud of, and we're constantly embodying, a service mindset where we are asking whenever I meet a customer, like if they have nice things to say, fantastic. My immediate follow-up is like, what can we do better? Like, what can we do to make your life better? Why is it still hard? Is it difficult? Like, where can we improve and deliver more value?
Yeah.
And I think that's a very authentic part of our culture at Gusto. We attract people that have that service mindset. They want to solve problems. We want to move with urgency. There are millions of companies out there that we're not helping today that if we were would be better off. We are not in any way complacent or waiting for the world to be given towards us. It's actually the opposite. We're going to go chase it, but we want to make sure that along the way we're delivering something that's very, very useful and helpful. And that's something I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I think the transparency, the authenticity of kind of how Gusto delivers a product is so important. It matters how you get there. And you said that, and it's like, it's not about the end goal. It's about that journey and doing the right thing in the right moment. It's like, you got to do what you say you're going to do every single time for a partner. And that is so important. And I think that's why I'm in this chair. That's why I'm talking to you right now, because without that, regardless of how well Guideline did, we wouldn't be having this conversation about combining these companies.
From when we first started working together, the ingredients then are the same now, and we're just building upon them. But it was very much like you all created a product that was incredibly useful. You did it in a way that was long-term centric. You won the deal to work with Gusto on the merits of your product and your customer feedback and your customer satisfaction. And it was very obvious as we met the team way back when, and even now more folks today, given the folks you've added to the team with your teammates, this service mindset is kind of embodied in the culture. So we've made some progress, right? Like Gusto, Guideline, we serve together, joint, tens of thousands of small businesses. We enable countless individuals to have a better retirement future. Gusto as a broader company, we serve over 400,000 small businesses. So we've made some progress, right?
We've made some progress.
We've made some progress. Absolutely. And it's a testament to the team, the folks that have trusted us. I never take any of that for granted. I know you share that belief as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing this for quite some time. We've made a ton of progress. We've impacted over 1 million people, retirement. So we're not just getting started, but there's a lot of work to do.
And there's so much more opportunity ahead, right? We know that there are millions of small businesses that could benefit from offering retirement to their team and assistance with retirement. We know there's countless tens of millions of individuals that are stressed out about retirement, don't know what their future holds, and would love to have some peace of mind. So let's talk about what we're doing and going to do together
Yeah.
to solve that problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to start off, we're a 401k company. That has always been the tip of the spear for us. So going deeper there is always a great thing to do. Going even deeper in the stack, now connected directly to payroll and having access to payroll data and indications of what's coming next in a payroll run, all of those types of things that we can do to predict a better outcome for a small business. That's what's coming. And I'm so excited for it. We've been talking about it for years in regards to like being able to share this data. Now we finally get to do it.
So for small businesses that already use Gusto and Guideline, right? Like what's amazing and special is going to only get more amazing and special.
Yeah, we're going to have obviously the same world-class experience that we have to date, but it's just going to be even more refined. It's going to be better value across the board. Cost structures change over time. As a combined company, I think that only improves the experience. It improves the affordability, keeps our products incredibly competitive and affordable in a marketplace. That's really important to, I think, both of us, to make this not only be kind of a magical experience, which we're obviously going to get a lot more of, but also keeping it attainable and affordable to small businesses, especially when you all are doing so many new business formations.
One of the things I'm really excited about is even though we've tried really hard and have gotten pretty good at it by combining and becoming one team, the tens of thousands of businesses signing up on Gusto for payroll, we're going to have the ability in the right moment at the right time to help them if they want, right? It's never going to be something they have to do. It's always their choice, but help them understand that they can actually go provide retirement benefits to their team. And so one thing I'm really, really excited about is I think we're going to have a chance to help a lot more companies with retirement benefits by being together than if we had stayed separate.
Yeah, I think we're really excited about that too. And to your point, it's a 401k is an optional benefit, but it's also checks the box for retirement mandates across, and small businesses don't understand what that is. The majority of small businesses in California alone don't realize that there's now a retirement mandate. Being in the moment, as you mentioned, like when people sign up, if you're a California business, have a certain number of employees or even one plus now, being able to offer this and check that box and not worry about the compliance headache or getting a fine in the mail that you didn't know existed. All of that stuff is just, it's going to be a magical experience. I can't wait to do that.
So I know you know this, but just to share with everyone, there's about 6 million employers in the US. And I remember when I first learned this stat, it shocked me, but it makes sense. 2/3 of those 6 million are less than 5 employees. And so that's a more metrics way to put it. Another way I like to put it is there are more dentist offices in the US than tech startups. And
Yep.
so that's actually been on our mind, and I'm
Yeah.
sure on your mind since the beginning of our companies, because that's the audience, that's the mainstream population of small businesses that often do get left behind or forgotten.
Yeah.
And I love being in Silicon Valley. We're both here physically,
Yeah.
we live here. We can bring the
There's a
benefits.
reason we're here.
There's a reason
Sure.
we're here. Well, for me, it's
Yeah.
because my parents chose to move here and I was born here. But I also have stayed here because I love technology. We love software.
Yep.
We're in this place where we can get these incredible, incredible advances. But one of the things I kind of constantly think about, and when we started Gusto, it was paperless, cloud, mobile, plus social and search as kind of a distribution enabler. So these were technologies and paradigm shifts
Yeah.
that enabled, frankly, Gusto to exist. Today, we would talk more about things like AI, et cetera. But broadly speaking, I'm a curious person. You are too. We love tracking these trends, understanding where they're going and what they mean. But I constantly, when I go to sleep, what I brainstorm is how do we harness this technology to go help small businesses?
Yeah.
And it's what gives me purpose every day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned the dentist because my dentist is actually a Guideline customer, and I didn't know it until she was, talking to me about it. But dentists are one of the largest categories for a Guideline, and I think that says a lot, right? Like these are service industry folks, highly educated, understand the value of retirement, understand getting started early, generally on the younger side, and these businesses get handed over from family to family member, and it's just so important to offer these types of services to
Yeah.
all businesses in America.
Well, you and I both, I would say, like to cut through. I call it the echo chamber.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. What matters is delivering the best possible product every day, all day. And
Yeah,
truly,
absolutely.
what that leads to is having the most number of customers, the most amount of revenue, the highest market cap. It leads to a great business. We've both experienced that,
Absolutely.
and we're proud of the progress. But it starts always with like deliver value to the customer.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
One of the values at Gusto is dream big and then make it real. I think we have to go make it real now. Let's go get to work.
Let's go get to work.